Hi, and welcome back to the It's a Girl Thing podcast. It's me, Kate, and we're here for another day, another chit chat, another you and me session. Well, welcome back. I am so happy you're here, and I'm so excited that we get to keep doing life together. So, don't forget if you're enjoying the show to leave a rating, a review, even just message me and tell me if you're enjoying the show, because it's things like that that really do keep me going to know that people are coming to join our little community each and every week. So make sure you followed along and you're here for every single one of our chats, because we do this every week. And back at the end of January, start of February, we'll be back twice a week because we'll have Cocoa Confessions up and running too. So, little catch up from me. I am very tired, but that's okay. I've had a week off this last week that's just been. And by week off, I mean I worked my part-time job during that time. I house sat, did a couple of other little bits and pieces, but mostly it didn't feel too relaxing, but that's okay. We've just got to keep going, and I'll find time in there to get some rest. But I'll find balance in that. Balance is hard to come across, but easy to make when you make time. And I know it's mock exam season, so please, it's been school holidays. I meant to say it's going into exam season. Really helps when my brain formulates all the thoughts together, but it's almost exam season for all my high schoolers here in New Zealand. So I just want you to remember that exams don't define you. You define yourself. So take some time to rest, study hard, work hard, and just do your very best. Let's get straight into it. Are you obsessed? Now, that probably seems like a little bit of a weird question to just ask out of the blue. Yes, I know. So tell me, are you obsessed? And I'd be interested to know what the first thing you thought of when I asked that question is. Because in one way or another, we're all obsessed with something or someone. Obsession is normalized, but it's not necessarily healthy. And this is coming from the girl who gets obsessively attached to a character, just one character from every new TV show or movie she watches, and then for the next week or so after watching that show, all I want to do is every little thing that I can do to change my life to become that character. It's obsessive. But if we're lucky, that theme might carry on and I might still try to be becoming a character 3 years down the line. Who knows? And I know that's not a healthy thing. And in my mind, it keeps life interesting. I'm always trying new things, always getting used to a new character's life. Maybe that's why I love watching my favourite 4 TV shows on a loop, because I don't risk doing that, or because I constantly want to be one character from each of those shows. That's a question for another day. But we previously talked about social media addiction and being able to control the scroll, and how we can try and reduce our screen time, or at least reduce our focus back from constantly having this desire to scroll. And addiction with social media and obsession with social media, or obsession and addiction, very different but similar things. They can go hand in hand, they can walk their own paths, but today we're talking about obsessions. And there are some more fun obsessions of life, I would like to say. Like, as a girl in the 21st century, makeup, skincare, clothes, boys, relationship, drama, gossip, TikTok if you're like me. But they're different for everybody. And to some degree, I want to say obsessions can be healthy, but I don't really think they can be, because that's the whole point of the word obsessed. You can be fascinated, you can be interested, you can be drawn to, but by being obsessed with something, that means you're giving an unhealthy amount of yourself and your life to something. So, would you consider yourself obsessed with your favourite music artist? Possibly. For example, you could be a diehard Swiftie, a Directioner, a Harry. I really actually don't know that many other music artist fan names. But if you consider yourself one of those, I would say you're obsessed with that artist. And obsession can look different on everybody, and it's a mindset we've got to get ourselves out of. And I would say, the only thing I'd say is healthy about obsession is it's okay if you're obsessed with something once in a very rare time. Like, I go through periods, like I said, where I'm obsessed with a character in a TV show. I go through periods where I might be obsessed with TikTok, or I might be obsessed over, I don't know, going to bed. No, that's not really an obsession. But like, I'll be obsessed with something for a short period, and then I won't come across it again, you know? But you've also got negative obsessions like weight, your looks, your personality, your friendships, wanting to be like your celebrity idols. And these can all be so harmful to your mental health. And the very last thing we want to do is to cause ourselves additional huggle. If that didn't make sense, I was trying to say harm and struggle at the same time, and it came out as a huggle. So yeah, have a little huggle. But basically, you don't want to cause yourself extra harm. There will be days where you're like, this is the worst day on the planet, and everything is so hard, and I can't do anything with my life. But then you come back and you have an obsession with something. For example, say it's your weight, because heck, we all have that moment. Whether if you're underweight, overweight, or average weight, but you see yourself differently, you can end up obsessively focusing on these things. And that mindset that you've already been struggling with, just getting through the day, you're just pulling it down even darker into a pit, bit by bit. So, yes, you're probably wondering now, how do we reduce our obsessions? I'm not really sure we can fully get rid of obsessions entirely, especially, I'm going to say, as a teenage girl, in a world that is constantly pushing like consumerism and obsessive culture, like things on TikTok. I don't think we can fully get rid of it. I can think we can, like social media addiction, we can learn to manage it in a way that means we don't become unhealthy. My words are not wording today. But that we don't become unhealthily obsessed with things. Because you can be a fan of someone's music and not be obsessed. I would say, I'm going to use Taylor Swift as an example, because I love Taylor Swift. Like, I love her music. Come for me if you really want to, but please don't. I like her music. I like her performances. The Eras Tour, cool concept. Love it, and love the whole concept of the surprise songs. I wouldn't call myself a Swiftie. Because to me, I associate Swifties with Taylor Swift obsessed people who know everything about her, know every word, almost every word to every song, who would have been the ones saying that they deserved an Eras ticket more than you because they've been a fan of Taylor for longer. They've got posters, they've got this, like, that their constant existence is about Taylor Swift, and they'll take any opportunity to talk about her. That's the difference between an interest and a like of a music artist and an obsession. And how do you bring obsession back to interest? You realize that not everybody is going to be as into it as you are. That you are allowed to live your life, and you are allowed to love a music artist. But you do not need to know every detail about their lives. What are you actually going to do with that information? For example, let's use a little bit more of a harmful example. Let's go back to talking about looks and our weight. So, all of us, once in a while, I can just about say unanimously, we'll have a moment where we go, I really don't like how I look. I don't like how much I weigh. I don't like how I feel. That doesn't make it an obsession. That switches into an obsession where it's several thoughts a day, every week, for a period of time. And that's not an obsession you want to have. That's when other unhealthy thoughts and habits and obsessions can string off it. For example, with weight, you can go into obsessive habits with food, exercise, your well-being, clothes. All those things you can impact just by being obsessed with your looks and your weight. I must admit, I say while I am slightly orange from fake tan, and before anybody tells me I am, I know I am. But we can also change the way we're seeing ourselves in terms of weight by going, okay, well, I don't like how I look, and that's okay. You don't have to like how you look all the time. One, there's things you can do to change your looks. Two, you have to recognize that nothing about yourself, except maybe personality-wise, but even then that's hard. Nothing about you can really just change overnight. It actually takes a little bit of time. Three, obsessing over something like that is only going to cause more harm to your mental state, which will then go back into your obsessive with whatever you're obsessing about, and it becomes a loop. So you've got to break the loop somewhere. And four, I had a four. I lost my train of thought. Let's see if I can think of my four. Four, that your thought patterns can influence how you interact with people around you. If you're obsessed with, we'll go back and use my weight and Taylor Swift examples. If you're obsessed with Taylor Swift, then you're going to be bringing Taylor Swift into conversations with either people that don't like Taylor Swift, that just like Taylor Swift, or people who just could not care less. And that can actually influence your relationships with each of those people. They may distance themselves, they may come closer. I don't know. Same with weight. If you're constantly talking and obsessing down with yourself about your weight and your looks, then you'll either start thinking the people around you feel the same way about you. You'll start wondering what exactly they think about you. You'll start potentially projecting those thoughts onto other people. You'll start judging other people for their looks and their weight, because in your mind you're just like, oh yeah, but I'm just comparing myself to them to make myself better. But actually you're bringing them down too, whether they actually know it or not. So let's take a moment and think about, what are you obsessed with? And heck, let's be honest with each other about our obsessions. I'll be the first to raise my hand and say I have some, and I'll even name them for you if you want to feel a little bit less alone, because that's really what we do here. I'm obsessed with TikTok and scrolling social media. That's an obsession because I do it, I think about it, I share it with others, I constantly driven by it. I am obsessed with wanting this podcast to grow for the same reasons. But now let's go to the real ones. I am obsessed with my looks and my weight. I'm obsessed with not feeling good enough, that nothing I ever do is enough for myself. I am obsessed with finding myself my future husband. And I say my future husband because of my personal faith that I want to find the perfect husband for myself in the future. I'm not just looking for an ex-boyfriend. But I'm obsessed, and I see that, and I know that, and I'm trying so hard to change that. And I must admit, I'm obsessed with gossip. And that's such a bad one to be obsessed with because it can be so harmful. And I am trying to change, but it's not something I can just change overnight. So those are my obsessions. Now think about yours. Be honest with yourself, because if you're not honest with yourself, then nothing will change. Now let's have a little hype girl time, a little moment, because I see you. I really do, and I see that you come to the space and we talk about things that are fun, we talk about things that are real, we talk about things that break our hearts each and every day. And I love that I can be so open with you and you feel that you can be open with yourself because of this space. And so I'm so thankful that you're here. And I hope that you know the joy and the wonderful person you are, and that you bring that into the lives of the people around you. I just want you to feel as good as I think you should feel. I love you and I appreciate you. And I know there's things you'll be doing that other people don't see and other people don't recognize. But I'm telling you right now, I know you're doing things behind the scenes, in front of people's eyes, and you just don't feel noticed. Whatever it is, I see you. You're doing amazing. And thank you for being here. And I'm so, so grateful for that. So that's really the end of our chat about obsessions. Hey, this may have meant nothing to you. This may have done a lot for you to actually help you evaluate your obsessions. But I also know that it's really helped me, I guess, face head on the things that I still need to work on. So don't forget to come back next week for another episode, and hey, tell some friends that you think could benefit from coming along and joining our little Girl Thing community. And just a little update, we are in the process still of becoming the unofficial Sisters Club, so I'm excited for that, and I can't wait to take this next step in our journey together. Thank you, I love you, and I'll see you next time.